Let's talk about overseas travel spend today. And I know that many of you are really averse to credit cards, be it for whatever reasons. Maybe you all do not like to hold debt. So today the focus is on multi-currency cards with the prepaid wallet. And I know that there are so many options in the market right now. So how they usually work is that you have to top up some funds to the prepaid wallet, and then they usually come with a prepaid debit card where you can use it for your overseas currency transaction. And because it is based on a prepaid wallet, there is no credit terms, there is no debt, and the maximum amount you can lose is what you have top up into your prepaid wallet. So it's really suitable for people who do not have an income, which is why they cannot qualify for credit cards. So we are talking about the target group of NSmen, retirees, housewives, or students. As a general guideline, the markup from the spot FX rate is around 0.3 to 0.5%. So you can see that this markup from the FX spread is really very competitive, much better than what you get at money changers, which is why when you're overseas, if there's an opportunity for you to use such multi-currency cards, it's better to use these cards than to pay with cash. For the focus today, I shall share about some multi-currency wallet options that you can use. And before that, you can join us at over 14,000 members in the Telegram group to ask your questions about multi-currency and travel options. The first option will be Instarem Amaze, and this time I'm talking about the Amaze wallet, which is the prepaid multi-currency wallet, not on the Amaze link card. Because if you do not know yet, the Amaze wallet actually has better FX rates than the Amaze link card. Now, based on my recent transaction, the Amaze wallet only has a markup from spot of around 0.3 to 0.5%. Much better than the Amaze link card of over 2%. The other benefit of using the Amaze wallet is that you get 1% back in Insta points for the Amaze wallet transaction. Now, you only earn this cashback if the transaction is in foreign currency and a minimum of 10 Singapore dollars equivalent. So if it is below $10 Singapore equivalent, you will not get that 1% back in Insta points. Amaze also allows you to store multiple currencies within the Amaze wallet if you want to just top up the funds and convert it and hold it there. And the thing about Amaze is that it's one of the only few multi-currency wallets that can allow you to hold Malaysian ringgit, which is considered a controlled currency. So what can you do with the Insta points earned from the 1% Insta points cashback? If you have accumulated until 2,000 Insta points, you can cash it out for $20 cashback, which will be credited to your Amaze wallet. And for the Amaze card, you can add it to your Google Pay, which means you don't have to bring out your Amaze card anymore. Just link it to Google Pay. But for Apple, it's not available on Apple Pay yet, so you can still use the physical Amaze card for transactions. But do take note that some card transactions are excluded from the rewards, which you can refer to the terms and conditions of the Amaze list. Now, if you're asking about cash withdrawals, I felt that using Amaze is not a very good option because they do charge a 2% withdrawal fee, unlike other competitors. So I wouldn't recommend that. Just use it as a card standalone. Don't use it to withdraw cash. So if you have not got your Amaze multi-currency wallet yet, then you can sign up via my referral link here.
The next best option for multi-currency card is the Tiger Boss debit card, which was launched in February by Tiger Brokers Singapore, and it's the first ever debit card that lets you earn back Tesla fractional share.
In fact, you can earn 1% of your spend in Tesla fractional shares with every transaction.
The Tiger Boss debit card is powered by Wise, and it gives competitive foreign exchange rates compared to what traditional banks are charging. So how it works, that users must earn more than 1 Singapore dollars in cashback on T+0 to receive the fractional share by T+1. And if the user hasn't earned 1 Singapore dollars in cashback, they must accumulate spending on the Tiger Boss debit card. Example, accumulate to 100 Singapore dollars to get 1%, which is 1 Singapore dollars in Tesla fractional share, which means users will receive 1% of their eligible spending in Tesla fractional shares on T+1 into their Tiger Boss debit card wallet. Eligible customers can view their fractional share via the Tiger Trade app by going to Portfolio, Debit Card, then Cashback. Common exclusions apply, and please refer to the list in the terms and conditions. Compared to Instarem Amaze, there is no need to hit a minimum spend of 10 Singapore dollars equivalent in foreign currency to earn that 1% cashback, which means that you can slowly accumulate your spending on the Tiger Boss debit card. And that's not all, because if you haven't heard about the Tiger Brokers Welcome offer, here it is. For new to Tiger Brokers customers, open an account and you'll get 0 commission trades on US stocks for 180 days and Hong Kong and SG and China A shares for 365 days. Then if you activate Auto Sweep on Tiger Bot Reward, you get 30 trading days of interest bonus boosted to 8% per annum. Terms and conditions apply. Secondly, if you fund your account or transfer in the minimum of 1,000 Singapore dollars and complete 5 new buy trade rewards, you get $30 of Apple fractional shares and one attempt of sure withdrawal value between $8.80 to 888 Singapore dollars. Or if you just deposit 300 Singapore dollars, you can get $10 of Apple fractional shares. Now, if you use my exclusive referral link to sign up for Tiger Brokers and you do a cumulative deposit of 1,500 Singapore dollars within 7 days, you get a special bonus of extra $30 of Tesla fractional shares. So don't wait anymore, use my referral link down below or scan the QR code right here to get your Tiger Boss debit card and Tiger Brokers account today.
Next, let's talk about some other multi-currency wallets, and I'll group these three options together, which is YouTrip, Trust, and Wise. Now, the reason I group them together is because they have rather similar functions. It's just a little difference in the benefits that they offer as well as their features. So YouTrip is a prepaid wallet debit card, which means you need to top up your funds in order to use the YouTrip card. So if you do not have funds in your YouTrip wallet, you are not able to use the YouTrip card. And you can top it up by two methods, via PayNow or via MasterCard if you do not want the fee option. If you top up by Visa, there will be fees. If you think that the rates right now are rather competitive, you can also choose to exchange foreign currency and hold it in the YouTrip wallet if you just want to lock in the rates. Now, the thing about YouTrip is that if you spend on your YouTrip card, there really isn't much benefit other than the very good exchange rates that you have exchanged for. There is no like cashback mechanism or other kind of reward point system for YouTrip. So when I last tried the transaction on YouTrip, it is around 0.3% markup, which is rather good enough. But YouTrip is really good for one thing though, which is the cash withdrawals, because you can get your first 400 Singapore dollars equivalent withdrawals free. And then after that, they will impose a 2% fee. So if you're overseas and you really need cash, then I think YouTrip is a good option to use it. Next, let's talk about Trust. And Trust is actually a digital bank, but they also offer their own debit and credit card. Trust also has very favorable exchange rates of around 0.3% markup based on what I tested last year. But the thing about Trust is that you are unable to exchange and store currency in their wallet because there isn't any multi-currency wallet. It is just a bank account. So it's really used for pure card transactions. And you notice that there is a debit card and a credit card function. I'll explain it further. So for the debit card, you will need to deposit funds into the Trust bank account for them to deduct from there. And then for the credit card, since you know how credit card works, right? You don't need the funds yet. You just need to spend it on the credit card first. And then after that, you pay the credit card statement bill, which is really good for some people who do not prefer to top up funds, right? They want to spend it first, then they pay the card statement later. For Trust, if you spend it outside of the fair price group, you also get 0.22% back in link points. And I know that there is a new reward tier coming effective 1st April 2024. But I will not go into the details because it is quite complicated. Just remember that if you spend it on eligible retail transactions, you get 0.22% back, which is slightly better than YouTrip, right? YouTrip spend, you get nothing. Trust, at least you get 0.22% back. And I found two very good use cases for Trust debit card especially, because remember that Trust is a bank account. So if you want to do overseas cash withdrawals using your Trust debit card, it is essentially free because they give you the good exchange rate, plus there's no limit or cap. And moving on to the next use case is the tourist refunds, especially when you buy a lot of items overseas and you want to claim the tax refund for tourists. This is when you should put your Trust debit card number into the tax refund form, because when the overseas refund come, they are going to come in foreign currency, right? And since the refund is in overseas currency, when they come to your Trust debit card, in turn your Trust bank account, it will be converted at a much favorable exchange rate compared to your other locally issued credit cards in SGD. And this was my personal experience in Italy when I filed for tax refund, credited to the Trust debit card, and it worked out great. The exchange rates were great, and I could just withdraw the cash because Trust is a bank account. If you credit it to your credit card, you still have to request to the customer service to maybe transfer the balance to your bank account. So Trust debit card really works well here. So my last contender will be Wise, and previously known as TransferWise. Wise is a multi-currency bank account for business use or personal use, and I have both accounts. The Wise digital debit card is free, but if you want the physical card, it will cost you $8.50. So how to use Wise is that you just have to top up Singapore dollars into the Wise account and then transact it on your foreign currency transaction, and it will give you a very good FX rate. And from Wise website, they said that the fee can start from as low as 0.43%. With the Wise card, you can also withdraw cash from overseas ATMs up to your first 350 Singapore dollars for free. So today I've laid out 5 options for you: Instarem Amaze, Tiger Boss debit card, YouTrip card, Trust card, and also Wise account. And let me be clear that I'm just here to share whatever options are available in the market. You can choose what is preferred for your own situation, so don't need to argue which one is the best. And something really special about Wise is that Wise has this interest account, whereby your idle cash funds will be invested in an interest earning fund, and you can get around 3.86% on SGD cash fund as well as 4.47% on the USD cash fund, which is kind of like passive income, right? So if you're really interested in all these passive income strategy, then why not check out my previous video where I talk about my real passive income from my cash strategies.